Good morning.
Good morning.
Yay, now we're getting going. Hopefully I had the opportunity to say hello to each of you and shake your hand. I wanted to do that. I think it's important. My name again is Karen Averill, and I'm your account executive for your Employee Assistance Program. I grew up in DeLand, Florida. Y'all know where that is? Deadland, as they call it. I can say that because I live there. Couldn't wait to get out of DeLand. As a young girl in 19, I definitely am not telling you when. And I went to Miami and I spent 35 years in the airline business. And that's where I first heard about EAP. And EAP back then was all about folks with drug and alcohol problems, right? Unfortunately, some people think that's still what it's about. But before I get started on your workshop this morning, I want to remind you about this benefit. It's really important you understand this is free. Every person that works here gets this automatically. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to do anything. It is absolutely free. Did I say it was free? Mm-hmm. Just want to make sure. You have available to you 1 to 5 visits with a licensed therapist. And you can go to any of our providers. We have over 52,000 providers. So if you're in Montana, you can see someone in Montana. If you don't want to see someone in Orlando, you can see somebody in Daytona, in Jacksonville, in New York. You decide. Our contract says we are to offer you a therapist within 25 miles of your home. That doesn't mean you have to go to those therapists. Tell us where you want to go see someone. It's that simple. This benefit covers anyone that lives in your home, related to you or not. Now, why would we do that? Because we don't want people in your house making you crazy, right? Say it's too late. Say it's too late. Bottom line is, this is for anyone that lives in your home. If someone moves in tonight, they are covered. Don't forget that. It's really important. If they happen to be under 18, you will have to call for them. If they're over 18, they have to call for themselves. And I encourage you, when you do call us, know what you want to talk about. Know what you need. Tell us if you want a male therapist, a female therapist, someone younger or someone more seasoned. So again, I remind you, let us know what you need. If you need a Spanish speaker, a Creole speaker, a French speaker, a Russian speaker, tell us what you need. We want to help you as quickly as possible. When you do see our therapist, by the way, if they determine this is a long-term issue, we're going to have to move you to your medical. And the reason for that is it's not healthy and it's not professional to have you bounce around to different therapists and start over and over. If you're unhappy with any of our therapists for any reason, call us back. We'll get you somebody else. Now, about the third time you do that, it might be you looking for somebody to tell you what you want to hear. That's not what we do. We're here to get you refocused. You have 5 visits per issue, unlimited issues. So if you call today about marriage, 5 visits for free. If you call in a couple months about stress, 5 visits free. Have to be different issues, okay? That runs on a calendar year. Any questions so far? What's the cost? Free. Good. The other thing I want you to remember is you also have legal and financial counseling and services available to you. They work a little bit different. We contract with a company called CLC out of California, but they too have providers all over the country. We have them in Canada. We have them in Puerto Rico. So again, parts of Europe. Again, I encourage you to remember, you have access for mental health, for legal, for financial. CLC works a little bit different. The first 30 minutes per issue is completely free. After that, the attorneys have to give you 25% off of the hourly rate. And if they don't, you need to call us. That's part of the providing that we're doing for you. So I encourage you to remember, free 30 minutes per issue, 25% off of the hourly rate. However, our attorneys will not help you sue your employer. And we don't help you with workman's compensation cases, nor will we do that for anyone in your household. Aetna's number 2 in size in the country, and more than likely, we have the providers that would be in an awkward position dealing with those kinds of situations. Okay? Also, you have financial counseling available. The first 30 minutes are free again. After that, they'll give you reduced rate. So for legal, again, as I said, any kind of law. For financial, we've got credit card consolidation, we have debt management, we have estate planning. Why would you not use something that's free? Use your time wisely. The first 30 minutes, call up and say, here's my income, here's my assets, here's my liabilities. I need to file for foreclosure. I'm facing foreclosure. I need to file bankruptcy. Don't call up and say, well, I'm kind of thinking about. Use your time wisely. You have 30 minutes free per issue. You also have a website. Has anyone here looked at it? Pretty fabulous, mylifevalues.com. Your password and login are really easy to remember. AHS. Okay? There are over 5,000 self-help web assist topics on there. There are shopping coupons for food, clothing, furniture. We just added the discount center, cars, tires, movie tickets, jewelry, appliances, discounts to Disney and Universal. Why would you not check that out? How many of you in this room have a will, if you're willing to tell me? Okay, let's see, that was about maybe 8 people. I was like every one of you that did not have a will. My husband and I, Dave, we both worked at Pan Am. Our life was fabulous. Dave, being 14 years older, would go every year for a health physical. And that year he came home and he said, they couldn't believe it. They said, I'm like a young man. Life is great. 1 week later, I found David in the backyard with his pupils collapsed, with his pupils dilated, fingernails were blue, earlobes were blue. He clearly was not breathing. I didn't know how long he'd been out there because he'd gone to walk the dog. And Shane never barks. Well, he was barking crazy that day, and I couldn't figure it out, so I went out to find David. I immediately, of course, started CPR. The neighbors called 911. They came, hit him with the paddles, threw him into the ambulance, where he died on the way there, got him into the ER, and he died 3 more times that day in the ER, and they brought him back. What do you think they asked me for the minute I got to the ER at North Shore Hospital in Miami? Do you have a living will? No. Do you have a health surrogate? No. Do you have any directives? No. Do you have a DNR? No. Now, I look pretty smart, don't I? The answer is yes. Yes. I can't hear you. Yes. Okay. I had nothing. At that time, I was an executive in human resources at Pan Am, and I taught the importance of having proper documentation. But I didn't have it. We had adopted a young boy, and that little boy, if something had happened to the 2 of us at Pan Am, where was he going? Right back into the state, wasn't he? Because without directives, the state has to place him at a place so they can determine where the baby would go to. So, what I'm saying to you is, A, I got a miracle. I had my husband for 13 more years. He had a defibrillator, a pacemaker, 1/2 a lung, false teeth, hearing aids, glasses, part of a knee, but he was all mine and I was happy. But what do you think we did? You have access to a free will kit on the website. Did I say free? Okay, free. Get to it. It's a living will, a simple will, a health surrogate, a DNR, a durable power of attorney. So just get it done. It's free. And it's better than having nothing, I promise you. If you have a lot of assets like my friend Paige in the back, go see an attorney. Did you tell him about Lotto, Paige? Bottom line is, you can see an attorney if you have considerable assets. Free. I did say free. Also on the website, you have all those templates you buy at Office Max and Office Depot. They're there too, free. Promissory notes, bills of sale, all that kind of good stuff. So check it out. Okay, so recap. 1 to 5 visits per issue, unlimited issues, legal counseling, financial counseling, website, webinars. There's a library on there with over 100 free webinars on anything you can think of. Teenagers would rather look at the webinars than talk to you, the parent. So again, a free will kit, the website. Get it done, okay? Yes? So if you don't get it done next time I come, and you don't raise your hand that your will is done, you have to listen to my story all over again. Okay, let's talk about stress. When Paige called and asked me, she said, Karen, we've got to do this quickly. And I went, Paige, these are like an hour plus. And I said, okay, I'll try and condense it down. So what I'm going to do today is to give you some basic tips. I think a couple of things we need to talk about first is life is stressful. Life is full of change. Change creates stress. If anyone in this room thinks that you're never going to have changes in your life, then I really want you to call that phone number, okay? Life is not like that. We have to understand the fact that change is constant. Stress is something that we're going to live with daily. We have good stress, right? And bad stress. Bad stress can affect your health, affect your work, affect your relationship. In 1982, I met my husband and got married on January 1st. New name, new day, new life, new husband. Yes, I had had one before, okay? So life was wonderful. We were down in the Keys on our honeymoon. Everything was great. We both worked for a company called Air Florida. And I walked in the door and the phone was ringing off the hook. I was director of training at the time, and we had crashed into the Washington 14th Street Bridge. There were only 7 people that survived, 1 crew member. And they said, you got to be on an airplane and get to Washington now. Okay. So I spent the next couple of months in Washington. I sadly had to identify my crew members' belongings and bring them back to their family members. I had to dry them out first because they were soaked with jet fuel, so my backyard looked like and smelled like a gas station. And every day, the folks that were accustomed to dealing with these kinds of things, the NTSB and other people that were from other airlines they're investigating would say, Karen, are you okay? Well, of course I'm okay. I teach emergencies. I teach PTSD. I know what this is about. Well, 6 months after I returned to Miami, I started waking up in the middle of the night with my heart pounding so much that I thought I was having a heart attack, couldn't breathe. And of course, my husband rushed me to the ER and they said, you're having a panic attack. I said, I am not. I know what that is. Well, a week later, it happened again. Back to the ER, and they said, you need to go talk to someone. And I said, no, I don't. I'm fine. There's something wrong with me. Well, I know it's hard to believe this, but 5 cardiologists later, and the Mayo Clinic, I finally understood what stress had done to me. And I needed to talk to someone. And I want to tell you, it was a long way back. Do not go there. Do not let stress overwhelm you to the point that you don't want to leave your house, that you feel like you have no control, that you don't know if you're going to walk out the door and die. That sounds pretty far-fetched, but I can assure you, I'm a pretty tough lady, and it happened to me. So I encourage you to take care of yourself. You need to look at your health. You need to look at what you eat. You need to look at your exercise. You need to look at your relationships. Because if you don't take care of you, you can't possibly take care of anyone around you that you love. It's that important. So we're going to get on with this, and you're going to take some notes, and then we'll do a quick exercise at the end, okay? All right, so we're going to talk about priorities. We're going to talk about how to recognize when your life's out of balance. We're going to tell you how to create some more harmony and more balance. How many roles do you play in your life? I don't think we really think about all the things we do. Oh, and I love the technology that was supposed to make our life easier, right? You never get disconnected now, do you? You never put that phone down and just go, I'm done. Because we can't. Whether it's work or family members or friends. So, wife, husband, father, mother, brother, sister, coworker, friend, employee, coach, athlete, a spiritual being, community member, grandparents, grandchildren, being a mentor. These are all but some of the roles that we do every single day in our life. And it's not going to change the way the life is built today, the way the world is built today. So what we need to do is to look at our locus of control. Do y'all know what that is? Anyone know what a locus of control is? It's a therapist word for what you can control and what you can't. There's 3 rings in the locus of control. The outside ring are things like war, hurricanes, right? Who's going to win the World Series? Can any of you control that? Then why are you continually thinking about things of that nature? As an individual, you cannot make those changes. In 2004, I lived in Grand Cayman. I was working for Cayman Airways. I know that's terrible, isn't it? But life was fabulous. They had given me a wonderful townhouse. I had a car, loved it, until Hurricane Ivan came, put 6 feet of water in that townhouse. The car floated away, never to be found. My friends were devastated. People were out of work. The island was upside down. There was no green left. It was devastating. Even to this day, 10 years later, June 1, I get the emails. Miss Karen, can I come if there's a hurricane? You would think some people, and of course they can come, I love them, but the bottom line is you can't control that hurricane. You got to decide, be prepared or leave the island. Things we didn't think of before. So again, what you can control your preparedness. You can't control the hurricane. Next inner circle is what you can affect, what you can impact. Being prepared. And finally, in the middle, what circle is there? You. The only thing in this world you get to control is you. You can't change people, ask my first husband. But I could make him fabulous. I was young, okay? But again, the bottom line is you need to remember, you only get to control you. You are the only person that can change you. If you take nothing else away from that today, I want you to remember that. How much do you want peace of mind? How much do you want satisfying relationships? It's up to you. Obviously, we need to balance all of these things. Health, relationships, financial needs, home, resources, commuting. Oh man, I couldn't believe I-4 this morning. But anyway, I thought I moved away from Miami to get away from that traffic. Only for you, Paige, did I come through it again. Okay. You need to take notice that something's going on if you have a decrease in energy. You're getting headaches, stomach aches. You're having problems that you can't make decisions on. And certainly, you're feeling overwhelmed. You're frustrated. You can't look at things logically. Your cognitive thought process isn't working. You don't have an ability to look at the big picture, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. So if you notice those things, and by the way, if that occurs in one day, it doesn't mean, okay, that you're having a problem. But if you see this as a continual behavioral situation, you need to seek out some help. Pick up the phone and call the EAP. I love this picture. Look how mad she is. Ooh. And she really wants to punch that other girl. Again, signs that life is out of balance. Poor attention span, no satisfaction in what you're doing. You're going through the motions. You're not living for joy, for happiness. 3 primary areas would be managing your time, managing change and stress in relationships. And then I added, you need to know that locus of control. That will help you make your priorities. And certainly, you have to really commit to change. No matter what I tell you today, there's no magic bullets. You have to say, I am going to take control of what I can. Balance is something everybody can achieve. It's how bad do you want it? And certainly you need to know to let go of unrealistic expectations. I grew up in DeLand, Florida, and I grew up pretty poor. Moved 8 times in 12 years. So when I got a little boy, he wasn't going to have to work before school and after school and on weekends. He was going to have school as his job. So every night, did you get your homework done? What club did you join? What are you doing this weekend? What social activities have you joined? What about church? Could you imagine living with me? So anyway, 1998 comes along, and all of a sudden, my life changed. I stopped climbing the proverbial ladder. I stopped working 12, 14 hours a day. All I wanted was to spend time with my husband and my son. And I went to my son and I said to him, I want you to enjoy what you're doing at school. You go have fun. If you come and tell me your grades are the best they can be, I'm okay with it, David. Well, guess what happened? He ended up with a full ride anyway to UF. Everything paid for. He was honors this, honors that. He now has a master's in theology, a master's in education. He speaks fluent Arabic from when he was in the service, and he's now going for his doctorate. And I didn't even have to push. Where are you setting your expectations for yourself and for those you love? This high, where they can't ever get them? Or here, where they can go over them? No is a word you can learn to say. It doesn't mean when someone asks you for help, you have to say, no, I can't help you. You can say, gee, I'm so sorry, I'm scheduled. Now, I might be scheduled for a massage that day, but that's not your business. Okay? I'm scheduled. When was the last time you did something for yourself, for fun? When?
Last Sunday.
What did you do?
I went flying.
Oh, good for you. Okay, flying. But that was last Sunday. This is now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Nothing else for fun so far?
I'm going to do it again this Sunday.
Okay. And when was the last time you did something for fun? I don't remember. And?
Monday.
Monday, what'd you do?
Get a massage.
Yeah, a massage, yay. Last time you did something for fun? Don't remember.
Maybe 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Okay.
Saturday night.
Saturday. What'd you do?
Party, and I got my hair done.
Alrighty then.
Sunday.
Sunday. Are you not worth 20 minutes a day? Everyone in this room, are you not worth 20 minutes of recharge a day? I used to start walking in the morning, and it was all about what I had to do during the day. All about my job, what had to get done. Now when I walk every morning, I thank Lord, and you can thank whoever you want, for my son, my daughter-in-law, and the life that I have. My day is certainly different now. I don't show up stressed. I show up grateful. How are you showing up? Learn to stay in the moment. That's pretty hard to do with our crazy lifestyles. Find a sense of humor. If the best thing that's happened to me my whole life is learning to laugh at myself, because I certainly took myself pretty serious for a long time, which created a whole lot of stress. Put your relationships first. When you leave this earth, what do you want people to remember? They used to say that to me. Oh, you want to be Miss Eastern, Miss Pan Am on your tombstone? It wasn't so bad till 1998. Now I want to read good mother, good wife, good friend. What do you want on yours? What's important? Learn about other people. Trust me. In this country today, for the first time in our history, we have 4 generations in the workshop. We have traditionalists, we have boomers, we have Gen X, we have Gen Y. Now we've also added the millennials. And we all communicate differently. If you're a boomer like me, you want to talk face to face. I know you think I like to talk a lot. But the bottom line is, if you're an X or Y or millennial, how do you want to talk to me? Just like this, right? Makes me crazy. But it's what they're used to. So I don't let it upset me anymore. Again, you need to understand relationships are tough, but relationships take 2 to make it work. Compliment other people. Are you saying thank you? Are you saying good morning? Or are you going like, good morning, how are you? How was your weekend? It's good to see you. Don't ask me that, because guess what? I'm going back and say, well, thank you so much for asking. Let me share with you how my weekend was. Gossip and rumors, too much stress. Don't tell me, well, Paige said. I'm going to say, is that right? Let's go see Paige. I don't have all those problems anymore, because people know if it comes out of here, you're accountable and responsible for it with me. I don't have time for nonsense. I don't have time for stress. What are you doing for fun? What did you do when you were a kid? When was the last time you laid in the grass and looked at the clouds? Aren't you worth 20 minutes a day? Have you considered how about relaxation skills? Our website's got tons of stuff on it. How about yoga? How about meditation? How about visualization? How about deep breathing? You can do one or all. Take time for you. Then the rest of the things will start to fall into place. How many of you know people that are abrasive and sarcastic and give off negative signals? Oh, no one does? No one wants to raise their hand either. Bottom line is I don't have time for that. So when you're ugly or hateful to me, I'm going to say to you, I don't know if you meant to hurt my feelings, but you did. Can we talk about how to resolve this issue? You don't get to escape me, because I don't have time for ugly stuff. I don't have time for you to hurt my feelings and upset me. On average, you're going to work 90,000 hours in your lifetime. Some of us have a short time to go. Others, You're here for a long time. How do you want to spend it? Filled with joy and happiness, being creative, being innovative, helping others, or miserable? And the only person that gets to change miserable is you. Get organized. Learn to say no. Look at your priorities. What's important to you? Put them first. I will share with you Gen X, Gen Y, and Millennials. They're pretty good about this, actually. They're about work-life balance. We taught them that because we baby boomers did nothing but work. Time's the most valuable and the most perishable of all possessions. Once that time is gone, it's gone. Don't tell me you can wake up Saturday morning and catch up on all that sleep all week. It doesn't work that way. Your body knows better. Where's the time go? Make a list. Think about it. Really think about it and write it down. How much time you're spending on things. Goals. Make a schedule. Learn to be flexible. Man, when I was 19 and 20, everything was this line or that line. Now that I'm older, not telling you, I've realized change happens every day. Learn to be flexible. There are very few absolutes in this world, so we need to understand that. And how about at work? Do you really need to go to every meeting? Can you send somebody else? Meetings should frankly last no more than 30 minutes with three items on the agenda. That's the most efficient. And before a meeting, you send out that agenda. So when people come to the meeting, they know what you're going to talk about, and they better come prepared. If they don't come prepared, then the bottom line is, thank you so much. I'm sorry you weren't able to give us some input today, perhaps next week. Period. Or if people get you off course, thank you so much for that new item. We'll put that on the agenda for next week. But this week, we're going to focus on the 3 items that were sent out on the agenda. And emails, please don't copy the world. Because when you do that, the world thinks they have to respond. It's important. And don't tell people, I don't have time to explain this. Please read the chain of emails down to the bottom. It's this long. Be courteous of others. You cannot make appropriate decisions without knowing who, what, when, where, why, and how. Do your homework before you make decisions. Be clear and concise in your directives to others or your questions to others. You don't like getting half the information, do you? Neither do I. So when you come speak with me and you have an issue or you need something, I'm going to ask you who, what, when, where, why, and how. Or if I ask you to do something, I'm going to tell you who, what, when, where, why, and how. And then I'm going to say to you, if you need help, let me know. So when it comes time for that report that I ask you to do and it's not done, ooh, accountability, responsibility. I shared with you, you should have come to see me if there was an issue. Now I need to take this upstairs. I'm not ready for this report. Accountability and responsibility. And a few of my personal thoughts that are important. When we're no longer able to change a situation, we're challenged to change ourselves. And certainly it's not the strongest of the species nor the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change, whether it be at work or at home or in our church, wherever we happen to be. How are we going to respond to change? Are you going to decide to be a reactor or a responder? I learned the hard way. I prefer to be a responder. One sure thing, life has changed. Don't pretend change isn't painful. Making decisions isn't painful. Certainly don't pretend you're not afraid of change. And certainly change does not affect you. It affects all of us. You have many negative reactions to deal with and with others when there is a change in a situation at home or at work. So it's not just you. And after you've gone through a lot of changes, you're able to help other people go through change quicker. Certainly when Air Florida went out of business at 10 years, I was pretty unhappy. I've been there from day one, put my life and soul into it. That was hard. I spent a week in bed, cried, didn't know what to do, where to go. Then when Easter went out of business, it was a little bit easier for me. I just went and got another job. And then, when Pan Am went out of business, it was not my fault, y'all. I hired the right people, okay? It was easy. Went and got another job. I actually said, I'm done with the airline business. I went to FIU and I taught there for 7 years, which was fabulous. But then Cayman Airways called me and I still had to go back in the airline business. But they're still around, by the way. So again, change becomes easier when you look at the positive things that can happen from change, what you learn from change. Don't you love these pictures? It's okay to have a pity party, y'all. Everybody does. You just can't be having it forever. I used to call flight attendant meetings and tell them, come to the wine and cheese party on Friday at 6 o'clock. They all thought it was wine, like W-I-N-E. It was W-H-I-N-E, okay? Then once that's went out of their system, we moved on to solutions. Be careful. Be careful. Careful about self-medicating. Careful about using prescription drugs, alcohol, chemical coping methods. And certainly, don't ignore your health, your family, your friends. Look at the big picture. Take a step back. I don't know how to tell you this, but it might not always be about you. That's a scary thought, isn't it? It might be about a big picture. Learn to ask and answer who, what, when, where, why, and how. And certainly don't confuse your, new mouth. Don't confuse your efforts with results or activity with accomplishments. Looking busy doesn't get it done. Making the change is what happens. Always make new mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I'm the first one to say, hey, I messed that up. But learn from that mistake. Don't repeat it. Only you get to make that decision. Certainly, never, never, never give up. And this is one of my favorite. Courage does not always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I'm going to try this again tomorrow. One of my favorite books was called Lions Don't Need to Roar. The strongest people in the world don't need to shout, to be ugly, to be hateful. They know how to mentor, to guide, direct. They know how to find peace within themselves. And that's what your goal needs to be. Make happiness your goal. And remember, a smile to someone is the best gift you can give anyone. And it doesn't cost you a dime. And certainly, in the end, when you're gone from this place, whether you've gone on to work somewhere else or you've departed the world, what memories have you created for the people around you? That's all that matters. And one of my very favorite sayings, obviously, is work like you don't need the money, love like you've never been hurt, dance like nobody's watching, and sing like nobody's listening. Live like it's heaven on earth. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay. Now what we're going to do is a quick exercise. You can do these anytime. I gave each of you a stress card. What I want you to do now, if your hands are cold, the rules are cold hands. Oh, I'll get you a few, okay. Cold hands, it will not work. It works on body temperature, okay? If the room is really cold, it won't work. So what I want you to remember is, if it's cold, put it in the crease of your arm, skin to skin. Cover up the black dot. I want everybody to uncross their legs, take your glasses off, lean back in the chair. Think good, positive thoughts. When I tell you to breathe in, when I tell you to breathe in, Eddie, can I have some more of those cards and I'll pass them out?
Yep.
Do you have more back there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys need one? Who needs a card?
Yeah, up front. Thanks. I think she needs one there. Who else needs a card? Raise your hand. Cards over here. Cards up here. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. Lean back in your chair. When I tell you to breathe in, I want you to take a deep breath through your nose. You're going to hold it. And when I tell you to release it, I want you to push it out through your mouth. I want you to think positive in, negative out. Now, as I told you, one of my most favorite places of all the places I've traveled is Grand Cayman. And by the way, it's back beautiful again. So that's where we're going. If you want to go to the mountains or somewhere else, go ahead. I'm paying for it, okay? So lean back. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Oh, come on. I didn't even hear anybody go. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Push it out. Good. Breathe in. Push it out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Calm, peaceful. Ritz-Carlton, Grand Cayman. Breathe in. And breathe out. All expenses paid. Breathe in. And breathe out. Deep breath in. No cell phones. You're only there with people you want to be there with. Breathe in. And breathe out. Laying by the pool, warm Caribbean breeze, sugar sand. Breathe in. And breathe out. Calm, peaceful. Steel drum band in the background. Breathe in. And breathe out. Pool boy, poop girl, bring in one of those umbrella drinks. Could be iced tea, okay? Breathe in. And breathe out. Calm, peaceful. Tonight we're going to run point. We're going to go to a Caymanian barbecue. Tomorrow you can go skydiving, deep sea fishing. You can take the submarine down. You can go snorkeling. Go swim with the stingrays. Take a carriage ride around the island. Go visit the botanical gardens. Breathe in and breathe out. Calm, peaceful. Duty-free shopping. Breathe in and breathe out. Calm, peaceful. Now, when I tell you, you can look at the black dot, but you must look very quickly because it goes back to black because you can use the card over and over again. So, you ready? Everybody look at the card. Green is the normal answer I get from people at work because you're at work, you're involved at work. How many people got green? Anybody get to blue? Whoa, congratulations. That hardly ever happens. And anyone get to purple? Okay, very good. Now just remember the rule. Do not be getting stressed over the stress card, okay? They are for fun. They're to help you to remember. You have an EAP. Pick up the phone and call us for help.